unwillingness to quit.
So you both are unwilling to quit.
We're unwilling to quit. So first off, I wake up every morning and I think to myself, what can I do to make Adam glad he married me? What,
Oh,
where is that? Where is that moment? So maybe that comes with I start the coffee and he's sitting down here working on the budget, and I'll bring him a cup of coffee and set it in front of him and say, here you go, I made your coffee for you. And he's like, thank you so much. Perhaps it's throwing his load of laundry and folding his shirt, or helping pack food so he can get ready for a trip. He's a pilot, so he leaves a lot. What can I do every day to make him think, man, I'm glad I married her? And that's how I live my life. He also lives the same life where he asks himself the exact same question. So when it comes down to whether one or the other is being selfish, it doesn't actually happen, because he's 100% looking out for me and I'm 100% looking out for him.
oh,
Therefore, I never have to take care of my own heart.
I love that. And I haven't really ever heard anybody explain it like that or say that communication wasn't it. But you know what? Y'all are communicating in your own way by taking that minute and thinking about what can I do for him? And he's doing the same. But Tiffany's every relationship's not like that. Most of the time people are not thinking at all. They are just responding,
Right.
to frustration, and they're not thinking at all. And so he may be super intelligent, but see, you found your super intelligence too of how can we make this work? And if more people would think like that, it definitely would help. But it does take two people in, you know?
It really does. I mean, you both have to be committed to be unselfish in your endeavors to create a team environment. So, having 7 kids, it's very easy to get pulled into one direction with, okay, well, you yelled at this kid and I disagreed with that. And then next thing you know, you're siding with your kid, and then your
Mhm.
kids no longer see a united front. They never
Yes.
see that with Adam and I, even if I disagree. And I did. Even this morning, I disagreed with the way he handled a situation with one of our kids. And on the surface, the kid came up, was like, oh, dad hollered at me about this. And I said, well, looks like that shouldn't have been left there. And perhaps you and dad can have a conversation about a better way to communicate in a little while. As soon as my husband got back home, I pulled him into the other room and I said, I don't like the way you handled that with him. You really ought to think about apologizing and humbling yourself about raising your voice out of something that probably didn't warrant that. But I pull him to the other room. I did not tell my kid, your dad yelled at you and shouldn't have done that. No way, because I
Right.
am not going to let them see that we are fractured in any capacity. We are always a united front. And we're committed to each other to always be on the same team. Even if we disagree, think about any sports team. You can disagree about way the quarterback threw the football, but you're still on the same team and you still want the best for the quarterback and you still want to get a touchdown at the end.
So, Tiffany, where did you learn that if it wasn't modeled for you? I'm curious.
In the beginning of my marriage, after the rough first year, when my husband said, that's it, let's just get divorced, I'm terrible at this. He said, you can have everything. I said, what do you mean everything? You're a broke lieutenant and I'm working my way through college as a nurse. Like, we don't have anything. And I laughed because I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We suck at this because we're new. It's not that we don't love each other, it's because we're new at it. We got to allow ourselves to suck a little and we're going to see our way through to the end. I'm like, no, we're not getting divorced, you dope. We're going through this and we're just going to figure out how to get better at being married.
And
So that's
you,
what
the
we did.
fighter. And it is that personality style that you have, Tiffany. I'm telling you, you're the fighter. And so immediately you thought, what can I do about this? How do I solve this problem? Because guess what? Also in your personality style, I can't help but talk about that because I mean, like you are a prime example, and your personality style is a problem solver. Is that true?
Oh, for sure. That's the most common phrase spoken in my house is go solve some problems. Figure it out. I don't know how to do this. Of course, because you haven't done it, but can you figure it out? I don't just hand my kids solutions because that doesn't help them. And as soon as people are capable of doing things on their own, I expect that they're going to be doing it on their own. Because if I continue to handhold and offer this scaffolding throughout their entire life, they're never going to gain that independence to fail in order to gain the confidence to keep living their life out loud. It will never happen.
I love that. You are not a smother mother. And by making kids figure it out, it causes them to think. And I think we live in a society these days where certain entities think that they can just tell you what they want you to think. And there's too many people out there not thinking or analyzing for themselves, and they just follow. And when you raise kids that just follow and don't think, it's like, I think all of our moms probably said, hey, if your friend jumps off a cliff, would you jump off? When, follow them and jump off too? And everybody was like, no. But that's what happens in our society, is that people follow and they just jump off the cliff because somebody else did.
Well, and with my personality set, I would also say, well, I don't know.